first 8 years of your head basketball coaching career had John a part of it. What's it going to be like next year without him?
Well, I think it's funny because in this profession, we all have to do things to better ourselves, and John was wavering a little bit whether or not he wanted to do it, and I think that was just such a strong passion he had for Ohio State. But in the end, as I told him, I said, John, Ohio University is a great opportunity. I think it's a tremendous job, and I really believe I think he's the guy for the job. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family. Obviously, it'll be a little bit different. He's been with me from day one, but you always know as a head coach, you get the right guys on your staff, and those things are going to happen. So now we had the opportunity to watch another one of our family members go out and spread their wings, and like I said, I know he's going to do a great job.
Your staff has been tremendously successful wherever you have been, and I imagine John's been a big part of that. What was his biggest asset for you?
Well, I think a lot of things. First and foremost, John and I think the reason we were very effective together is he was complete opposite that I was, and so we did a great job of meeting in the middle. I think that him knowing me as well as he did, and I think that he had a great basketball mind. He had a great passion for recruiting. I think those are going to be the things that we're going to miss, but we got great confidence with who we have, and the guy we bring in, that we'll be in great shape.
How much is the timing of this hurt you going into July? We're going to be all over the place checking out recruits and camps and things.
Not too bad, because we can only have 3 guys out, and we still have 3 guys on staff that are eligible recruiters. So, I think it's more of probably a burden for him as he has to go and try to assemble a staff. But like I said, hey, you've got about a week and a half advantage than when we started here, so he'll be in good shape.
Personally, what will you miss the most, not having your right-hand man, so to speak, just on a personal level?
Yeah, well, I think, is when you're with somebody for 8 years and you've been through as much as we've been through, the ups, the downs, all the things in between, what you miss, I think, is a great friend. And, I think John and I had more than a working relationship, we had a greater friendship, and those are the things that you miss. But it's I think, like when you love your kids, at some point you got to let them go do their thing, and as I told him, I think this is a great start for him.
You said you and he are opposites. How so?
Well, I don't know where to start. I think in a lot of ways, he was more of the numbers guy. I was more of the people guy. He was very good at giving me, breaking down. He was a math major, so he could do the numbers like that. I was a education major, or with a PE emphasis, so numbers would fly right past my head, and he was good at getting those things for me.
Do you feel like this was inevitable? He was ranked as one of the top assistant coaches in the country. It's almost a surprise that he was even here this long. Do you feel like this day was inevitable?
Yeah, I do. And John had been in a position that possibly had chances to move at an earlier time. But I as I told him, and John knew this, he was in a great situation here. He had a great affection for Ohio State. And we had talked for the last couple of years of really trying to find the right situation for him, and I think it happened today.
Is there a different feeling you get when you see an assistant become a head coach as opposed to somebody drafted like Costa was yesterday? Both realizing a dream, but is there a difference in how you feel about it?
Not really. It's funny you ask that, because I think that it's very similar, and as we talked to the team this morning, John said his farewells to the team, and that was kind of the analogy I drew. I recruit these guys here to help them achieve goals or dreams in their lives, and for John, it's kind of the same thing. So it's a very, very similar situation.
So who's next? Do you promote one of your current assistants and then look for someone else, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, we have to open it up. I really can't comment. I was warned from Mr. Wallenberg before I came in, but we've got a great feel for what we want to do, and I know in my mind I knew this day was coming, so we'll continue to to move forward, and you know, hopefully we don't miss a beat.
Would you be looking for another guy that's opposite of you?
Yeah, it seems to work. But no, I think that you know, the big thing is you go out and you know, I've always said this, Ohio State is so unique, and finding people that have that number one, an understanding of what this university stands for, has an appreciation for the job that we're trying to do, and sees the vision of what we're trying to do, and you know, I think, you know, appreciates the great basketball that's played in this state, and like I said, I think we'll be able to find who we're looking for.
You can put Ohio on the roster, on the schedule now?
What's that?
You can put Ohio on the schedule?
No, it's the one thing I told Mr. Schaus. I said, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do to help John get this job, with the exception of coming down to Athens, Ohio to play. So.
What do you do with the famous dry erase board? Is it retired now?
You know, actually, Alan and Archer are in there practicing right now, see who can write the most legible and as quick as they can. No, we'll have to see what we're doing. I think as I look at next year's young team again, we'll probably have to keep it real simple. So somebody will have it at some point.
In all seriousness, not playing Ohio University, was he that good of a recruiter that you think, you know, he can get a lot of legitimate, good time, big Division I players down there to make it a contender?
Oh, absolutely. I think that you know, he obviously has the ability to build relationships and gain young men's family and the young man's trust. And you know, like I said, I mean, there's been a lot of great players that have played at OU, and you know, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be able to get the players he needs to contend for MAC championships.
Greg Oden called him a genius at one point. You talk about you guys being opposites. What does that make you?
An idiot that knows how to hire. No, no, I think that you know, John, he had a great mind, and the biggest thing was John Carroll, and was very caring and you know, developing the program, and you know, he's the type of guy that, when I always appreciated this, hey, this is what needs to be done, and you know, you circle back and it's done, and a little bit more was done than you'd asked for, and I think that's a sign of a great assistant coach.
Coach, is it fair to say, do you have a pool of people that you'll be looking at already? I mean, have you a group that you?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Safe to say Brandon Miller will be in that group?
He will be. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whoever you bring in will probably just be an assistant coach, and will you promote either Alan or Archie to your top assistant like John was, or will it not necessarily work that way?
I haven't even thought about that.
Okay.
I was with John this morning, getting him ready to deal with you guys. I haven't even had time to. I mean, yesterday was a crazy day with the draft and everything. So, and John taken, but I'll sit down and when the time's right do that.
Can you comment on Costa being taken 23rd if you haven't already? What's your thoughts on that? It seems like a good situation for him.
I think I will say this. I think that he's going into a tremendous situation, and you have a great foundation in Utah. You have a great organization. You've got veteran players. I mean, those guys seem to be very classy, professional players, and I think that he's going to, you know, walk into an environment that is going to be very good for a young kid. I think people forget he was the second youngest player drafted, and so I think, you know, from that standpoint, for him getting his feet wet, because you know, it's the real world for him now, and you know, as I told them, a radio station out there today, I mean, nobody's going to work harder for him or for that organization and work on their game to get better. So I think it's a win-win situation. I was a little bit surprised that he went at 23rd. I thought he'd go a little bit higher, but you know, as you look at it, for him, the 23rd pick is great.
Do you know Cherry's
Fellow and Jamar, not too overly surprised. I'm sure they're disappointed, but it's not the end of the world either. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, for those two guys, I think that you know, right now, you know, hopefully their agents are going to work and trying to get them a great job, because I think both guys could be compensated very well in an overseas market. But by the same token, you know, getting on a summer league team and finding the right team that somebody may have somewhat of a need for that position, and they have to go in and play well and get the job done.